Everyone's talking about it.
And we've got the fiscal cliff bearing down on us.
The Congressional Budget Office is warning that if, in fact, we reach that fiscal cliff...
I'm proposing that we avert the fiscal cliff together.
But what is a fiscal cliff?
I'm scared for our future.
From the spin of Washington,
the risks of going over the fiscal cliff,
to the impact on your wallet. We break down what some call the biggest financial crisis of our lifetime.
All right, joining us now to talk about the fiscal cliff here on Good Day Orlando is Joe Burt from Certified Financial Group, better known as the Oracle of Orlando. Joe, always good to see you. Thanks for coming in. You know, let's start with square one here. We've heard this so many times, the fiscal cliff. What exactly is it?
Well, John, first of all, let's talk about what a cliff is. You fall off the cliff, you know there's a bottom. I like to call this the fiscal abyss because we really don't know where the bottom is on this deal. What it is, a combination of things. It's a combination of more taxes and less government spending. And the total comes to about $500 to $700 billion hit to our economy in 1 year.
So all these things combined, that's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Whenever we say the cliff, the economists say the cliff, tax increases, spending cuts, deficit reduction. Okay, so a lot of people know there are going to be some changes coming up. They don't know who's going to be impacted. So let's break down this list of people. Who's going to pay more to help avoid the cliff?
Well, we're all going to pay more. The lower income folks, they're going to see their tax bracket go up from 10% to 15%. And think about that. A 10% to 15% is not a 5% increase, but that's a jump of 50%. If you go from 10 to 15, that's an increase of 15%. And the top end folks are going to go from 35% on up to 39.6%. So it's across the board. It's going to affect everybody.
Yeah, you look at some of those numbers there. Even in the one that sticks out to me the most, yeah, high income, that's a lot of money, but middle income, $3,500 there in taxes, that's significant for a family making $70,000, $80,000. That's a big hit.
It's going to affect everybody, John, and that does not include the impact of the Obamacare, how that's going to ripple through the economy. This is just talking about taxes.
Okay, so where does it go from here? If we do hit this cliff, a lot of people are saying unemployment is going to skyrocket. Yeah. The dollar's going to be worth practically nothing. Let's look at what you say some of the outcomes here could be. What do you think?
Well, it's going to be a disaster if Congress doesn't do something. And you know, Congress doesn't do anything until we're facing disasters. Now, we look back a couple years ago and we were facing the debt ceiling, and they finally came together with a compromise. But that's where we are today because of what's called the sequestration, where they're going to stop spending for government projects as well as defense. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen is Congress will get together here right now for the next couple days between Thanksgiving and do nothing. Then they come back after Thanksgiving between now and Christmas and do nothing, except they will have a patch. We'll have some kind of patch so we don't hit the wall come January. And I think in the spring, Congress and the president will come to some form of compromise. But it will be a compromise. I see that happening on both sides.
Joe, here's why I think a lot of people just tune out, because Congress always sounds the alarm. We've got something big coming up, January 1st. Every year it's the same story. They come up with a little compromise, but they never actually solve anything. Well, it's pushing it off once again. Is that what's going to happen here?
John, we've never faced a potential problem like this, and I think this election has gotten everybody's attention. And I believe the president is in a position today to do some compromising that perhaps he wasn't because we're in a political season. So I think we will see compromise.
You know, Joe, what also is interesting here, we've been talking about it on Good Day Orlando, but I don't hear it a lot of other places. Social Security, your taxes are going to go up on that. That's almost a certainty. What else do you see coming around the corner here that's all tied into this fiscal cliff? What other areas that people don't know about?
Well, first of all, your payroll taxes, everybody's going to pay 2% more in payroll taxes, both the employer and the employee side. And once again, the impact of the new health care law, how it's going to affect you and me as employees and employers. And that, I think, is the big unknown. And that has a lot of time to play out. And I think that's going to be a bigger impact than perhaps the results of this fiscal cliff.
All right, we're almost out of time, but one of my financial advisor buddies said that his company is warning people that your take-home pay could be down 15% this year by the time you put in the new health care, the new taxes. 15% cut from take-home pay. Do you think it's going to be that high?
No, I don't, because that would be a recession. And I think Congress and the president is worried about his legacy, John, and this would destroy his legacy. So I think he's in the mood for compromise.
Okay. Joe Burt, Certified Financial Group, the Oracle of Orlando. Always good to see you, Joe.
You too, John.
Appreciate it. Amy?